Uhuru, 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 and welcome to Reparations is on the ballot in St. Louis. We are really excited to host this web event tonight. My name is Jesse Neville. I am the national chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement and a proud member of the African People's Solidarity Committee under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. And we want to welcome all of you who are tuning in tonight on Zoom, on Facebook, on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in for what is sure to be a very powerful and very important discussion with two history-making revolutionary candidates running for office in St. Louis, Missouri on the platform of reparations and economic development for the Black community, T'Charo Masimba and Herdoja Kalambayi and Danette. We're really excited to be speaking with these two candidates tonight, and we are the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, the organization of white people formed by and working under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party to fight for reparations to African people and build white solidarity with Black power. And we are holding this webinar tonight in part to raise money. We have a goal as a stand of reparations from the white community to raise $1,000 for these two incredible candidates. And we want to raise 500 each or more. Let's do more than that if we can. Go to Vote Masimba, that's vote, MASIMBA.org, and Vote Kalambayi, that's vote, KALAMBAYI.org, and donate whatever you can to make these campaigns a success and victory for the African working class, victory for the people, power to the people. So I want to bring on our guests. We're really honored to have T'Charo Masimba and President Kalambayi, Herdoja Kalambayi Bentham on the program with us tonight. And we're also very honored to have to lead this interview and to contribute to this discussion as well, Chairwoman Penny Hess of the African People's Solidarity Committee, who has been working under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party for over 45 years, building solidarity with the African Liberation Movement. So without any further ado, it is my great honor and pleasure to turn it over to Chairwoman Penny Hess to get us started on this exciting interview. Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you, Jesse. And I want to join in welcoming our guests. It's such an honor to have with us T'Charo Masimba, running for alderman in Ward 21, St. Louis, and Impedum President Kalambayi and Danette, who many of us know as Kalambayi and Danette, who Herdoja Kalambayi Bentham, who is running in Ward 3 as alderman. Thank you so much for coming on. And as the chair of the African People's Solidarity Committee, I just want to join in, of course, saluting Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who is our leadership, who formed the leader of the African People's Socialist Party, formed the African People's Solidarity Committee. We work under their leadership, demanding and building a movement for reparations to African people in the white community, extending the whole struggle for liberation of African people behind enemy lines. And I want to salute Deputy Chair Onizine Yeshitela, who is our leadership and these incredible projects. And I just really salute these incredible candidates, these dynamic, courageous, powerful representatives of the African working class going up against the vicious powers that be, this corrupt, brutal city government, parasitic capitalist government of St. Louis that is renowned and has historically had such incredibly brutal policies towards the African community all the way back 200 years ago, and who sets the bar for how this war against the African community, the counterinsurgency, can be carried out. This is the city that has just mowed down African neighborhoods for over 100 years, that has gentrified, taken land away, taken resources away with brutal police violence and who have created conditions of poverty and in today just absolute gentrification to make St. Louis white, and to, just what a vicious government this is here. And I just salute the interests of the African working class, of Tacharo Masimba, Herdosha Kalambai Bentham, again, going up against this here in the city where the Black Power blueprint is, the political and economic project of the African working class, bringing power into the hands of African workers here, much beloved project, and these powerful elections, campaigns that are running on platforms of reparations to the African community. And we want to call on white people to support this, to jump on board, because this is not just about St. Louis. This victory here changes the world. It changes and puts into power the African working class for the first time in this country in this way, that it's blatantly and openly about the interests of the African working community. And so, this is a victory that is going to change the conditions, is changing these conditions, not only in this country, throughout this country, but throughout the world. So I want to, we're gonna have a great discussion with Tacharwa and Kalambai tonight. And we do want to raise this $1,000. This is a stand of reparations. Their platforms are calling for reparations. And this is an opportunity they've got to win. This election is in less than 2 weeks, I think. And for the primary, they're going to win. They've got to win. We have to have a stake in this. Let's give the resources over, and let's get into our discussion with Tacharwa and President Kalambai. And Tacharwa, I would like to start with you, and I just wanted to ask you, why are you running for alderperson in Ward 21 here in St. Louis?
Yeah, I just want to state again that my name is Tacharo Masimba, and yes, I'm running for alderperson for Ward 21 in St. Louis. And I just really want to thank you for inviting Huru Solidarity Movement, for inviting me to this incredible show. And this is an incredible campaign, led by an incredible campaign manager who's also my wife, Nze Masimba. And we have incredible volunteers. But the fact is, this campaign is necessary because there's an ongoing war, as you stated, between the Black community, the African working class especially, members of the Black community, and a whole system that rests upon us and that loots our community in 1,000 different ways. And the fact is, we have these politicians who get in office, and sometimes they campaign on telling you what policy they wrote. They can tell you 99 different policies that they wrote and how change is coming soon, but it manifests. We see this ongoing assault where the Black community is living in constant kind of poverty and misery. And in St. Louis especially, we see spy planes being waged on the Black community. We see attempts to privatize the airport, by the current alderman. We see this NGA entity that has taken 1,000 acres of property from Black people and used eminent domain to push out 100 families. It is just a constant ongoing attack on the Black community. And these two campaigns, and my campaign, is about winning the people to fight against this system, to fight the system. These developers who initiate this whole process of looting the Black community, and then the politicians who work for them. There's a whole establishment that is set up, a status quo establishment where they make their careers off of looting the Black community. And we are here putting forth a vision for a new kind of future for the Black community. Reparations, we have to have a large infusion of capital back to the Black community. We have to have control over all of the resources in our community so that we can build businesses, we can create jobs. This is the kind of campaign we're running, and it is necessary that we go directly to the people and make them the primary motivating, primary agents in the struggle. Bring them down to City Hall with us so that we can fight to take back our community.
This is so exciting. And I just want to say again that we want to raise $1,000 tonight. And if you are going to give half of it to President Kalambayi and half of it to T'Chara's campaign. It's 2 campaigns, but 1 movement. So,
right.
Let's make this happen. They're fighting City Hall. They're going up against the most vicious powers. We saw what the state does in St. Louis to Michael Brown and to to so many others. And this is the people. This is the people. So I really want to welcome Herdosha Kalambayi Bentham. And such an honor to have you here, President Kalambayi, as we know you. Uhuru.
Thank you, Uhuru. Again, my name is Herdosha Kalambayi Bentham, and I am running for the 3rd Ward Alderwoman. And with your support and your, continuing to support this campaign, I will be the next 3rd Ward Alderwoman. I want to express my deepest appreciation for inviting me to be able to speak about my platform and this campaign that, like you said, is going to really launch African people all over the world forward. And we've been seeing this happen since August 9th. And even before then, the African People's Socialist Party, Chairman Amala Yeshitela, my leadership, that I have had the honor to sit under this leadership, incredible leadership, has prepared me for this day. So I just really want to appreciate my leadership and being a part of this amazing movement. Because before August 9th, I was just this girl that was an evangelist in the church that had lost 2 brothers to horizontal violence and seen horrific conditions, seen my whole community just disappear in front of my eyes. And never really having any kind of understanding or a solution to it besides the 66 books of the Bible. And that's very frustrating. And so August 9th, I found myself on Campfield Drive fighting and but needing a purpose, like, okay, what is to what end? We're going to fight for what? What is the demands? And the demands that I was hearing from the sellout leadership was for body cameras or some review board that has no power. And even though I was the African working class, I knew that these solutions was going to continue on the same thing happening. It would be more Mike Browns murdered in the street. And so I, was under the leadership of Chairman Amala Yeshitela, where I participated in incredible campaigns like Africans Charged Genocide, Reparations to the Black community, and seeing campaigns being launched forward. One of the first reparations candidates, Akile Anayi, that was in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I participated in the electoral candidate school with the Black is Back Coalition. This is who I am as an activist on the grounds in St. Louis, fighting against the Keep 28, that they've cut in the wars from 28 to 14. And they doing this right underneath our nose with the people not engaged because the elected politicians didn't do their job, did not let the people know that they were going to cut these wars until they somehow thought that maybe I'm going to lose my job, and they brought up a little struggle or fight, but not really understanding that how we understood that this is an attack against the Black community. And then we see the NGA, we're a spy institution. Myself and T'Chara Masimba, we went to so many meetings around the NGA, seeing African working class business people that have contractors that went away with their head down, saying this was some bull. And at one point they were struggling for the NGA to come with the empty promises that no Black person really was going to get any work down there. And we understood from the front of it that you can't give the community bad meat and think that, you're going to be healthy. So we knew that the NGA coming was always not good for the African community. These things prepared us and had our community, as we do community outreach for our rallies, building the Black Power Blueprint. So many people in our community would say, y'all need to run. Y'all are our leadership. You are the ones that is bringing this to my doorsteps and helping me come back into political life. And I, for the first time, hear my own interests. And so now we are running these campaigns, and these incredible campaigns. The world has to know that it's two people, two Africans, an African man by the name of Chichara Masimba, and an African woman by the name of Herdosha Kalumbai Bentham that is running for office, that is saying on the first point on the platform out the gate, reparations now. The city might be saying cutback, but we saying payback. And we not just saying reparations just to, you know, gain some attention, but with a real plan on exactly what reparations look like, because we are living in revolutionary times, and it's going to take a revolutionary solution. Our people are hungry, our people are starving, and our people deserve the best, because on the north side, we are good people, but bad things are happening from people that's supposed to represent us. And so we are launching these incredible campaigns. I'm running against a dynasty, and this dynasty has attacked, shutting the office down. Over 72, this office had been in this community since 1972. This same empire asked for the National Guards to come and stand on every corner with bigger guns than the guns that's on the street, as this was a solution to stop horizontal violence. Chichara opponent, you know, asked for the police to come and do drills as that they are not terrorists in our community anyway. These things have to end. So we say hell no to the status quo. We're saying that the people have to eat, and the people have to be in office to not just win, but to have power, to be able to have power over our own natural born life. And so that's what these campaigns mean. And I appreciate being here, and I'm super excited being on this platform. Thank you.
Uhuru, thank you. And we're going to have a lot more to discuss with Chichara and Herdosha Kalumbai Bentham. I just want to say that we're on Zoom. We're also on Facebook and YouTube. So really want people to share. People have to hear this message and this campaign. And, you know, let's get everybody there. If you're watching on another platform, just share and definitely let's get your friends and get people involved tonight. So you know, I just want to say also that we do want to raise $1,000. That's so minimum, $500 to Charwa and $500 to Kalumbai. So you need to go to votekalumbai.org, VOTEKALAMBAYI.org, and votemasimba.org, MASIMBA. You can see that sign behind Chichara's head. All right, and you can also behind Kalumbai's head. All right, so let me see. We have a comment from Ralph Pointer and Betty Davis, who are incredible longtime fighters for African liberation based in New York. And they are saying congratulations on your incredible struggle against American colonialism. Ralph and Betty, they are members of the Black is Back Coalition and just very important comrades and friends of this movement. And thank you, that's a great statement. So let's go back to Chichara. And Chichara, can you talk to us about the you know, just a little bit more about the conditions in St. Louis, in your ward? Tell us a little bit about your ward. What makes your ward unique, and you know, what are some of the conditions that people are facing there?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. You know, we always quote this incredible revealing statistic, you know, which is you can see it even if you don't know the statistic, but you know, nearly 30% of the population in North St. Louis in general is living off about $5 a day. You know, after taxes, you know, whole families have to be left with, you know, per person have to be left with about $5 a day. you know, and it's a reality that if you live in the zip code where some of the zip codes where my ward is, 21st Ward, you die up to 18 years earlier than you do only a few zip codes away in the white community. And, you know, one of the things that I always see, which is really striking to me, you know, really personal, is that the house where I grew up in, where my parents still stay, the three houses to the right of that house are now vacant, you know. And I knew the families and know the families who used to live in those houses, you know, and we just see this obvious, visible decline. You know, we have always been under attack, our communities, but we see this obvious, visible decline in the community. And then you have these politicians who get in office, and in order to build their careers, to move up to become a senator, or just to continue to get elected for 40 years, like Columbaye's opponent's father, they have to attack the Black community. They, you know, like my opponent is says that he wants to bring an $81 million development plan that nobody has been informed about or given any kind of input about. And he wants to use tax abatements to give to this two-person firm who would oversee this development. You know, but these tax abatements have cost the Black community our schools. So we have 7 schools closing, majority Black schools in North St. Louis closing as a consequence of politicians giving these tax abatements away that allow developers, speculators who call themselves developers, to not have to pay taxes for up to 2.5 decades. And they get these and they don't develop anything in the Black community. They don't create jobs. They sit on these properties, they let them rot, and then they influence the politicians to pass additional laws to try to push the Black community out so that they can then begin building on, you know, on the land that they have acquired tax-free. And so these alderpersons who go along with this, like my opponent, they then bring spy planes into the Black community to attack us, to try to lock us up out of existence so that they can facilitate this gentrification process and say, look, I actually did something. I brought you, you know, I brought you development. I brought you democracy, you know, continue to elect me, make me your next senator. That's the cycle that happens. It's part of how it's built into the system. So our poverty is built into the system. This looting that we see is built into the process, and the alderpersons, the political establishment who need to continue to get elected to make it happen, they always attack the Black community in order to facilitate this process. So that's the thing that we see. And I was a part of this incredible project called the Black Power Blueprint right in my ward on West Florissant, if anybody is from St. Louis watching. Right on West Florissant Avenue, about 3 blocks, where we have begun renovating a whole strip of properties. We built a community center and banquet hall. We built with offices on the 2nd and 3rd floor. I mean, this is in the heart of the most oppressed sector of the Black community in St. Louis. We built an outdoor market right across the street from that, demolished 2 buildings that couldn't be saved, had been vacant for some people say up to 30 years. And we demolished them and built an outdoor market with a garden and an event space. And we'll have a farmer's market coming up actually this upcoming spring and summer, where Black farmers from throughout the region will be able to come in and sell fresh produce, and then people in the community can sell whatever products they have, and we can begin to generate business. And then you go further down the strip, we've purchased additional properties that will be retail and health facilities, and also renovated a 4-plex house that will be housing for a workforce program for people getting out of prison. And then we'll be renovating a commercial kitchen and outdoor, and cafe. So this is real development. This brings the people into the process. It does not go look for a windfall from some supposed developer that requires you to bring spy planes in to wipe people out so that they can do the development. So this is what we're up against, and people have to support these campaigns. You know, go to votemysimba.org. and support
Yes.
this campaign. It has to be, we have to have a victory for the Black community.
That is so powerful and exciting. And we do have people watching from all over the country and from even other places outside of the US. Could you just say also what the demographics are of Ward 21 in terms of the African community?
Yeah, it's almost completely African. I mean, maybe 98% or so African. You can never see a white, you can live there and I don't know, you can go months and months without ever even seeing a white person if you've never left your community. So it's an African community, but it's not under African leadership, or at least leadership who work for the African community.
Right, and yeah, so, well, this is very exciting campaign, and we're gonna come back and keep coming back to this, and I would like to also speak with President Kalambayi about, just as president of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, can you talk about the significance of the fact that the Black Power Blueprint is there right in the center of Ward 21? And by the way, it is also in Ward 3 because they butt up against each other. So tell us a little bit about how you see the Black Power Blueprint and how it affects how the community, responds to it and what it has meant.
Yeah, I thank you for that question. It's a really great question. I couldn't help but to, when Chichara was talking about the conditions of the third ward and the 21st ward and the third ward, and for that matter, the north side. Those are real realities. And then when he started talking about the Black Power Blueprint, I just became bubbly and excited because that's what the Black Power Blueprint is. The Black Power Blueprint, I just really want to appreciate, Deputy Chair Onizanaya Shatella that led this process, and Chichara that was my leadership in the Black Power Blueprint. And I was a volunteer and was able to, as the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement, bring mass forces and the community into the process of being volunteers and being able to come to a Sunday rally to a beautiful Aquaba Hall now. And other events that we had, fashion shows, weddings, all kind of different events that we have had at the Aquaba Hall, the Uhuru House, and the One Africa market as well. I remember when we broke ground and had steppers on the grounds over there, if y'all remember. Just so many great memories. But the Black Power Blueprint in a community where you can walk miles and miles and just see just the conditions being just horrific. That does something to your psyche of what you are, your worth, and your community's worth. And to see the Black Power Blueprint right there, and then have a huge flag, just flying high. We have experienced bus drivers, a whole bus of brown-faced little beautiful kids stopping and looking out the window and at the flag, and people stopping and taking pictures. We've seen people, radio hosts and radio people stopping in the middle of the snow to take a picture in front of the Uhuru House because they know that the word Uhuru means freedom, and it's the house of freedom. Everybody that participated in the Black Power Blueprint has confidence have been boosted in their ability to have power over their own community, because you have been constantly told by these sellout politicians in the media and the status quo that we are not good, and we can't do anything good, till you started believing it. And the Black Power Blueprint and the leadership of the Black Power Blueprint came and fought against that, to bring people back into a situation where they had an opinion. This is not something that just happened to people. I'm saying? They had an opportunity to sit on the steering committee. People in the community like Gary Brooks and different people in the community got to participate in like what it's going to look like, etc. I know as myself, like being able to, go and find out exactly all the different steps that it takes to buy LRA property, sitting in meetings and learning that is a skill that is priceless to the African working class. And this is not some thing where it was so sad to see the person that Chichara is running against sell people some ideal of they can purchase a house for $1 with no real plan to do that. And multitudes of people flooded there because we want to own our home. You know what I'm saying? We owe reparations. They have created poverty for us. This didn't happen because we did something bad. No matter what they try to say on the news or why they say what happened to us, that's not. It's that someone else is living off one community. And the Black Power Blueprint is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a real concrete manifestation that you can see, touch, and smell. You know what I'm saying? It hit all your senses. And that is priceless to be able to see. And I mean, it brings you to tears. I see the confidence that it do for even young people like my daughters and other young people. Chairwoman Penny, we live in a community, and some young people that I was working with this summer where we were dropping a free newspaper. One of the young persons, he told me, he said, the only thing I'm scared of is waking up tomorrow. We have to win these seats. You have to go right now and make a donation to both of these campaigns. If you want to be part of the human race, then the human thing for you to do is to support these campaigns so we could change their reality, because no 14-year-old should say that he's afraid of waking up tomorrow because he has to live hell again. That shouldn't be a reality. And the Black Power Blueprint has gave him a sense of who he is by the things that he have learned from learning that he's an African, learning, going to the Aquava Hall and seeing this beautiful hall that Black people built, that Black people were responsible for. The leadership of the Black Power Blueprint is Black leadership, you know what I'm saying, that laid out a whole plan of what African people need. That's powerful. And white people have supported the Black Power Blueprint, not in just I like you, but paying reparations, a real concrete, a material interest, not you like me and I have to go back to the same reality that I was in, but actually make an investment, actually paying reparations, saying, I know that I have lived off stolen resources and I want to pay it back. You know what I'm saying? That's powerful. The Black Power Blueprint is powerful.
Uhuru, Chairwoman Penny, I think you're on mute. But I just wanted to pop in really quick and I'll turn it back over to you. This has been such an exciting discussion.
Yes.
And people, and just what Herdoja Kalambayi Bentham just said, that, you have to be inspired to go and donate, and people are doing that.
Yeah.
And I'll start by saying I did that. I put in $50, so I'm very proud to do that.
$50.
Penny has put in $50, and we also want to thank some people. We received towards the campaigns $20 from Susan Mortimer towards President Kalambayi's campaign, $100 from Ralph Pointer towards Kalambayi's campaign. That is really powerful. And $110 from Janet Van Fleet, Uhuru, $50 from Ron Hudson, Uhuru, $50 from Diane Tournay, Uhuru, $10 from Ali Aiello, Uhuru, $100 from Kitty Riley in St. Louis, who said, I donated $100 to voteCalambayi.org. These candidates are the fighters who fight for the African community of North St. Louis. We must eliminate the Del Mar divide. Uhuru, thank you, Kitty. And we also want to thank Susan Mortimer, who also put in 20 towards votemasimba.org, and other donors to votemasimba.org includes Diane Tournay at $50, Ron Hudson at $50, Janet Van Fleet at $10, Kara Locke at $50, and Bridget Kenny at $20, which means, and we just received $100 donation towards President Kalambayi's campaign from Allison Haney. So that means that all together tonight, we have raised $880 towards our goal. So let's keep it going. Let's get to $1,000 and above to make victory for these candidates and for this campaign for reparations now. VoteMasimba.org, VoteCalambayi.org.
Yes.
Donate.
And there's no big money. There's no developers' money behind these candidates. This is the people's candidates. And for us, the stand is reparations. We want to see the victory of the African working class kick the ass of this city hall and this mayor and this neo-colonial and colonial situation here, and just bring a beautiful vision for what the future of this planet is going to be and is happening right now in North St. Louis. So I'm so excited. Thank you, Jesse, for that. And let's get back to Charo Masimba. Talk to us about your platform. And
Right.
I know it's a platform of reparations, so tell us about some of the points.
Yeah, I think it's important to say that the slogan is Black is Back, building a movement to revitalize the culture and economy of Black St. Louis. And what that is a testimony to, what we're declaring is that I will not accept the African working class, the Black community being slandered anymore. That as Columbi said, we are a good people.
Yeah.
We come from good homes, good communities. Most of our parents were, in the church. They were good people and are good people. And to the extent that we have contradictions, where we see violence expressed between Black people in our community, it's because we have to live under constant pressure and constant poverty imposed on us all the time for decades, for 100 years or more. And so I'm fighting for the African working class, for the Black community in terms of its interests. And so reparations is at the top of my platform, reparations to the Black community. And this is so important, and people don't fully understand it often. It's so important because the first thing is we have to redefine what the problem is. And the problem is not the people. The problem is that our community is constantly being looted all day, every day, in 1,000 different ways. That's why you have this concept, this reality of a Delmar divide, where on one side of Delmar, you have vast amounts of resources, high-rise buildings and whatnot, and then immediate decay on the other side, which is the Black community. So the Black community has to have reparations for what happens every day. So that includes a large infusion of capital. And this arms the people to be able to know what we're fighting against and what happens to us and what we're up against. So that includes a large infusion of capital. The city has a budget of $1.2 billion. So there's ample room in this budget to go toward economic development in the form of reparations to the Black community so that we can begin to build Black businesses. We can begin to acquire these vacant and abandoned, dilapidating properties that are in the Black community. We can renovate those properties and we can start building an economy. Also, part of the reparations claim is that this LRA, Land Reutilization Authority, which is a land bank that was created to begin to take Black people's properties that have been taken by the city and these other entities over time. And they have accumulated these properties with the intent to turn them over to developers. We're saying that this has to come under Black community control, rename it the Land Reparations Authority, and redistribute those properties to the Black community as part of the reparations claim, and so that we can spur economic development. It also has to include capital so that we can begin to fix those properties up and repair them. So this is the top of my platform. Also, genuine economic development. No longer will we accept developers, gentrifiers coming in and pretending to provide development to us, taking all of our tax money and doing nothing but driving us out. We have to have genuine economic development. The people have to be brought into the process and made to become, mobilized again and informed and politically active again, and then spur business development, business creation, Black business associations. The land should be held in community land trusts so that the gentrifiers cannot get it. We build an economy by revitalizing the culture and economy of the people themselves. So that's just a little bit about my platform. People should go to votemasimba.org to see the entire platform. And we do want to encourage people to sign up to volunteer and to donate.
Yes. And thank you so much. What an incredible platform. And, every time that I've seen any place in this country that the local government or any state government, whatever, says that they're going to revitalize the neighborhood, it means they're going to gentrify and push the community out. And there has never been anything like this ever that I've ever seen. This is unique. It is so electrifying and really dynamic. And I do want to call on people. I want to thank everybody who has taken a stand of reparations so far. Let's get to 1,000 and way beyond. Let's get to 2,000 if we can tonight, because these forces, these are campaigns and courageous leaders who are changing the world. Vote Masimba.org, vote Kalambayi.org. Jesse, I'm sure that you have something else to say.
We're on our way to 2,000. We're on our way. Let's make it happen. Let's do this. Salute to the incredible candidates and these powerful platforms and the powerful movement backing them up and making them real. We want to thank Ali Ayello, who put in $10 to Charo Masimba's campaign, Allison Haney, who put in 100, Mara Ratu, who put in 25, Betty Davis, who put in 100, Janice Kant, who put in 50, and Len Demmer, who put in 50 towards T'Challa's campaign. And then boom, I'm gonna go over to my cell phone here, towards President Kalambayi's campaign. I can't remember what the last one I said was, but I think it was Allison Haney. So we want to thank $50 from Len Demmer, $50 from Janice Kant, $25 from Mara Ratu, $10 from Wendy Craig, $10 from Renee Nassar, bringing that to a total of, quick math here, 750 plus 610, that would be 1,360.
Wow. Okay, well, let's even those up. I really want to salute everyone that is so exciting, but let's even those up. So let's get to Charwa's up to, what is it, 710?
Yep, 750.
So exciting. We can do this, and this is what it means to pay reparations. It is not negative. It is so positive. This is how we participate in changing the world. This is our struggle for justice, for freedom, to liberate and redeem ourselves in the face of relationship to the African community and the peoples on the planet Earth. Wow, so exciting and such an honor. So President Kalambayi, I want you to talk about your platform. I know it's very similar because it's one movement, but let's talk about it.
Yes. I just really want to say, I really want to appreciate everybody that has contributed and donated. This is just a testimony of the Uhuru movement that built USM, that said that all white people owe reparations. And, this is a principle stance. You know what I'm saying? It's a principle relationship. And this is what it means to be part of the human race. So I really want to salute everybody that has contributed and donated to this, and remind everybody that, as T'Challa Masimba said, if you want to volunteer for these incredible campaigns, you can do that as well when you're on our site, volunteer to phone bank, etc. Yes, our campaigns, our platforms are very, very similar. And T'Challa talked about reparations. So I'm going to go to point 2, which is a real serious issue that we shouldn't have to talk about in the 21st century. And this is why T'Challa is saying that he's bringing the 21st war into the 21st century. We clean up our alleys. We pay taxes. These crooked politicians put additional taxes on the people on our water bill and our trash bill with Proposition P. And I'm gonna keep saying that because I am an African working class woman with 2 kids that this affected. And so it affected more than just me. It affected my neighbors as well. And we still dealing with the same dirty alleys. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to have rodents running wild. It could be kept down if our alleys wasn't so bad. And this is not because the people on the north side are just dirtier than the people on the south side. This is because it's a whole different social system, a whole different, city when it comes to the south side versus the north side. And having all the people, like I said, when we did Keep 28, we went to neighborhood associations. So I had an opportunity to go on the south side and hear the alderpersons report and how they took very seriously about the cleaning the alleys and the reports and taking the people's concerns right down there to City Hall with them. And then they had to be held accountable by the people by the next report and then an agenda. Well, on the north side, we went to those neighborhood associates as well. And some will brag about how they go to every meeting, but they go there with an agenda to push on the people, to say things in a tricky way, to make them fight for Proposition P or fight for different things because they have these big developers in their pocket and they tell the people that this is the only solution. It's no other solution when they supposed to be the leadership that be fighting for a solution that do not have us selling out the long-term goal for a short-term interest. And this is what happens so much. You, to try a comment, I couldn't even believe it in a meeting, said that, well, you know, it takes something to get something. This is how he won people to for Proposition P. And when he was running for office the first time, he said that he would never be for any additional taxes. And he wasn't even in office a year before he had betrayed his own words. This is who he running against, a liar, you know what I'm saying, flat out. When it was his interest, then he went against it. So therefore, you know, cleaning up our alleys have to be top on me and Chichara's agenda to fight that our residents in the 3rd Ward and the 21st Ward get their alleys clean, just like the South Side get their alleys clean. If this means that we have to build a whole new apparatus in the safety and sanitation department, where we create a whole jobs, because people in our community need jobs. So they need to hire somebody. They need to hire some people that only thing they would do is clean up alleys. That's what their job is to expect and make sure that these alleys are clean, and someone needs that job. And so we have to create a whole new apparatus, and we will fight for that. For we would not continue to be talking about cleaning alleys in the 21st century. But when you have sellout politicians that's more concerned about spy planes and more concerned about giving the police more money, then yeah, your alley is dirty. So that's one of the other things on our platform, along with, you know, we say Black community control over the police, you know, and don't be afraid of Black, and don't let them tell you to take the Black word out, because it's important. Because the people in the 3rd Ward and the 21st Ward are Black, and we need power over the police that come into our community with guns to kill, license to kill, and we need to be able to set their agenda on what they should be doing. They have to report to us. We pay their tax money. This is a democratic right. We ain't asking for no favors. We ain't asking for something that they not doing in the white community. The white community have the power over the police. If that police get out of pocket in Baldwin, Missouri, then them white people are going to fire him. And so we need to have that same power over the police in our community, that they should not be able to come in our community. And a lot of the crimes that happen is because Kim Gordon, the prosecuting attorney, already told us that they are crooked and we can't trust them. So why are we keep giving them a bigger salary? So we say Black community control over the police.
Very exciting.
Just a couple of things on our platform, but please go and check our websites, and you can find our entire platform there. Thank you.
Yes, please go to votecolumbayi.org and votemassimba.org to donate and to check out these incredible platforms, which are so winning and such a positive view of what the community can be. It's beautiful. So this is all going so fast, but we have a few more questions we want to ask you. This has been incredible and really powerful. But I do want to ask, President Kalumbai, you did sort of open this up, but I want to ask Chichara about you were in a forum last night, a candidates forum, and I just want you to talk about the incumbent, the person that you're going up, and just what he represents, and also just the unprincipled way that he has attacked you and attacked the Black Power Blueprint. Could you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I hope people can see, you know, that you have a self-interested politician, you know, and not a person who is fighting for the people. And I think that's evidenced by the statement that he made when the question was asked about the 7 schools, majority Black schools that will be closed in the Black community. And his response to that was, I'm proud to say no schools were closed in my ward. Right. These are 7 Black schools. And the public school had initially wanted to close 10 schools. I mean, this is an incredible statement about his own self-interested politics, self-preservation. You know, here it is, you have this devastating announcement that our children are not capable or not being able to get an education, which means that, you know, they won't get certain skills they need. They won't be prepared for certain jobs that they need. It is an expression of the devastation that's happening every day. And this is a traitorous comment to say that, well, no schools are closed in my ward. That's an act of self-preservation for a person who wants to get elected and is willing to say what is necessary to get reelected at the expense of having empathy and trying to solve the problem for the entire community. And he went on to say that, you know, just this kind of dishonest politics, saying that, you know, these are not spy planes that I'm supporting. It's aerial surveillance, you know, it's spy planes, you know. So we just have a candidate, and it's part of the process is what, you know, I hope people know that I'm fighting against, is that we're fighting against the system, and he's part of the system. There's a system in place that breeds this kind of corruption and breeds this kind of opportunism where everybody, you know, these real estate speculators, corporations, they bleed the Black community dry. And then you have politicians who get in office, and instead of attacking them, going to the people, mobilizing the people, exciting the people, giving the people an honest and genuine politic and analysis of what's happening, they instead work with the developers so that they can be able to say that they brought something to the people and they can continue to get reelected. And sometimes they line their own pockets, like he did when he received $150 from this billionaire who wanted him to support the spy plane legislation. But they feed on the people to maintain their careers. So people have to understand it's not just a question of whether we need more police. When he brings us more police, it is not to make the community safe for the people. It is to make the community safe for the gentrifiers that he wants to come in and replace the people. And thus he can continue to get elected. He can become the next Obama as far as he's concerned. So this is the system that we're up against. It is the people against the system. And we have to know that. I have no qualms about being able to go to City Hall, write some kind of perfect legislation for every contradiction that we have, you know, the Black on Black violence, the homelessness, you know, this and that. That is not going to work. We have to have candidates who want to bring the people into the process and who will go to City Hall with the people and make demands so that they can make fundamental change. So that's why it's so important that people support these campaigns.
Yes, it is. This is history. This is history being made. And President Kalambaya, I want to talk to you, but I know that Jesse has some announcements to make. So Jesse, go ahead.
Yes, popping back in here just to say this has been incredible, and just want to shout out Ralph Pointer and Betty Davis who are commenting, bravo, 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 uhuru, 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 yes, 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 speak truth to power, Masimba. This is what a candidate sounds like. This is what democracy sounds like. Right on. So just want to salute Betty Davis and Ralph Pointer, and to Charwa and Kalambaya, and this has been amazing, and want to thank Mwaza Sanyika, who put in $100, Renee Nassar, who put in another $10, Wendy Craig, who put in $10, and Alex Manofu, who put in $10, and those were towards T'Challa Masimba's campaign, bringing that up to $740. We also want to thank Larry Fellows, who put in $50 towards President Kalambaya, and Alex Manafu, who put in $10, bringing that up to $810. That means we've raised $1,550 towards the campaign tonight, and let's keep it going. VoteMasimba.org. VoteKalambaya.org. Donate, donate, donate. Reparations now.
Uhuru. Uhuru. Wow. I'm so glad to see this. And I really want to salute all of you taking such a powerful stand. I want to hear from President Kalambaya again. And also we do have a question from somebody, I think, who was on Facebook that I want to ask both of you. So definitely if you could stay on for a little bit more, and we could talk about what do you want to address? your incumbent and how they have, just done horrible things. So go ahead.
Yes, I'm running against Trump. Yeah, the person that I'm running against, he took notes. He sat down with Trump and took a lot of great notes, and he's doing everything out of Trump handbook. Exactly what Chachara said, that we running against the status quo, and the status quo comes in blackface. And we as African people that have been colonized, we really have to be able to hear the message, and move beyond just, how somebody look, or if they went to my church, or they dance real good, or they shoot at the same Y I went to. And it has to be like, what are you saying? What can you offer if we can follow or not? Bottom line. And the person that I'm running against has showed time after time that he comes from a legacy family that use eminent domain against the people by snatching people's homes. I mean, just a flat out bully, and has been this bully for 44 years. People have a right to be afraid of this family for the things that they have committed against the people in the Third Ward, using their power and influence to take people businesses, homes, and everything. This person has also asked for the National Guards to come into the Black community with bigger guns than the guns that's on the street. This person has attacked the Black community. He goes on these rants and he explains horizontal violence, and he say, I'm so angry that kids are being murdered that I want the National Guards. Well, I'm here to tell him that I am a woman that sat on the front rows with my mom twice, with two brothers and my oldest nephew that was murdered before he was 18 years old. I got him across the stage. He was in my custody. I got him across the stage and graduated, and he was killed. So I don't know somebody that don't want to. I don't know somebody that want to stop horizontal violence more than I do. I have a real stake in wanting horizontal violence stopped. But I'm here to say that I know that, like Chachara said, me simply writing a bill, or me simply out protesting and walking down the street trying to stop it, or putting signs in people's yard to say we must stop killing each other, is not the problem. The problem is that the real criminals are in down there at the city hall. The real criminals are the judges, and the real criminals are the police, and the people that have a salary that's supposed to be supporting the people, but is fighting against the people. Them are the real criminals, and them the ones that I have to go to war with. Them the ones that we have to fight against, and that's what me and Chachara represent. That we know who's the real criminal, and we know who the real victims are. And so, this person that I'm running against have came to the wrong conclusion. He has shut down an office, my office, where someone in the community believed in the campaign and offered me a place of in his business. He had this business since 1972. He told the story of when he came from Mississippi as a sharecropper. He came here working for $1 a day, and he opened up this business, and this family has been historically fighting him since. And the reason how he shut it down is he said that we were serving liquor. And this is a shop where people get their cars fixed. This is a Black business. Do you know how hard it is to find somebody to fix your car in the Third Ward? Mm-hmm. You don't even have money to try to go outside, and he gonna shut a business down in our community where we need businesses? He never came and talked to these people and try to figure out how he can find money to help. Even the sidewalk, you want to shut a business down, but the sidewalk is crazy. The police budget is at $177 billion. This is how much money that they're giving the police, and you shutting businesses down. The people say it's time to take a seat. You know what I'm saying? The status quo, you got to go. It's not personal. Just take a seat, because you're going to be free no matter if you like it or not. And we're saying you got to go for us to create the atmosphere so the people can be brought back into power. The people can have, access to the LRA. And this is going to create more home owners, home ownership. You know what I'm saying? You talking about you want to create home ownership, but who is going to be owning the homes when we saying that the people are living off barely $5 a day? Which he attacked me and said that I was off about this number and pull out a calculator to prove something else. And I say that that's how far away you are from the people, that you don't know that that's a reality that people live off every single day. Because some people are living off a bar of $5. You hear me? They didn't even have $5 a day. They had to borrow $5. So they behind on the $5 a day. Mm-hmm. And so this person has to be removed. He has to take several seats, you know what I'm saying? And it's not personal, it's political. And the people have to have a chance of a real future, a real community, and bring our community back. And he can't do it. So it's time for a new leadership. That's what we're saying, new leadership in the 21st Ward and the 3rd Ward.
So powerful, so powerful. Well, I want to also ask you, who's supporting you? What kind of support are you getting? To Charwa, you want to start on that?
Yeah, we have been getting an incredible outpouring of support. For example, the Green Party of St. Louis endorsed us. The St. Louis Young Democrats supports us. The Black is Back Coalition, and I see we have some members who have donated today. And I do want to tell everybody who has just donated today, thank you. We appreciate that. This goes a long way to help us wage this fight. Also, the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. We had Assemblyman Charles Barron out of East New York, who, by the way, is an elected official who has actually brought development to his community without gentrifying his community, right? So he supported our campaign, but also want to say people like Mr. Gary Brooks, the person after whom we named the garden that we created, who's been living in this neighborhood for 40 or so years, and Sam McGowan, who is also part of the Black Power Blueprint Steering Committee and lives right on Alice in West Florissant. Regular, everyday people who we are bringing into this process. So anybody, I saw a question in the feed, you don't have to be part of the Uhuru movement to benefit from this. We are fighting for Black people. And through the Black Power Blueprint, for example, we are creating an instrument or mechanism through which the people can begin to develop businesses. So you can you can participate in the outdoor market, the farmer's market, you can sell your wares. Everything that we generate goes back into the community. And as alderperson, I will fight to bring resources to the entire community so that we can replicate that kind of economic development 1,000-fold. These are important campaigns. They're going to be historical. If people don't see them now, these are historical campaigns. And we want to win the majority of everyday people to participate in this. That's the only way we're going to win.
These Uhuru movement is winning. It is winning, and this is making history. Yeah. And I'm going to get to you, President Columbine, one more minute, because I just want to ask you that too. And Jesse, go ahead. I know you have some other announcements to make.
Uhuru, just real quick, we want to thank Casey Mackey, who put in $5 to each campaign. Uhuru. So, and I also want to thank and shout out Paul and Janet and Mara and Jackson and other members of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement who have been on the phones these past few days making calls to members and supporters of USM to make donations towards this campaign. And we're going to continue to call all week long and all weekend long. So you can join our phone banking team. You can email info@uhurusolidarity.org if you're interested in getting involved. Uhuru.
Get involved and donate, take a stand of reparations. Thank you, Jesse. We're just going to have a little bit time left, but I wanted to ask President Columbine about support in Ward 3 and the kind of work. I just want to say that I've seen you giving political education to groups of African children and teenagers, and they're just can't take their eyes off of it. They're just engrossed in it. It's so powerful to see, just the work that you do, and just tell us about the kind of support for your campaign.
Yeah, and I just want to echo what Chara said, because the people that we're running against will have people to be afraid to say something like, we Uhuru. Uhuru means freedom. freedom for all, freedom for African people. And the young people that you're speaking of are just people from our community. They were not members of the Uhuru movement, and they benefited from the Uhuru movement being on the grounds at 4101 West Florissant. Everyone that participated in Sunday rallies, members, not members, but the community benefited from the garden. So I just wanted to say that. Yes, we have had all kinds of support. And I'm really excited to say that Zaki Baruti, an activist from St. Louis, Missouri, support my campaign. We have a liquor store owner. He's gonna kill me. He might be watching. My mind just went frozen.
K.
No, K supported my. That's not what I was talking about. But K, yeah, thank you, K. So Chris supported our campaign, and Antoine. I'm sorry, Antoine. Please forgive me. Sometimes I mess up names. The Orange Doors is what we call it. Support and his family historically over like 50 some years have been in the Third Ward. Support our campaign. People like Miss Betty. Someone that has foster children in the Third Ward and just a beautiful person. She supported our campaign, and the people that Chachara just mentioned, like the Young Dems, in the Green Party, USM, the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement, and just a lot of people have supported this campaign. It's overwhelming, and I really appreciate all the support and the support here as well.
Thank you. So powerful to see. Again, I have a quick question that came from Facebook from Carmen Ward. Carmen Ward is asking, what are your thoughts on how we center the needs of the family in our communities? More specifically, our schools need to reimagine relationships with their students and families. How do we reconcile, how do we reconcile and save our schools? If you could just address that, Charwa.
Yeah, part of it is to start by taking back our resources from these parasites who bleed our community. So, $700,000 have gone to greedy developers and tax abatements in the last 10 years. That's money that's supposed to go to our schools. So without resources, we can do very little. The second part of that is that both of our campaigns are actually calling for Black community control of schools. And I think that's an important thing to fight for, because what I'm saying is that our schools have to become a bastion of anti-gentrification economic development. So, that assumes that we will fight that make our school systems part of this campaign to revitalize the culture and economy of Black St. Louis. So our education and even the way that we approach integrating our families into the whole education process, it is built around an entire campaign that brings masses of people into the process of revitalizing the culture and economy of St. Louis. So our curriculum will be a curriculum that teaches our students who they are. It will be preparing them to be able to get the skills they need to be able to develop businesses. And through that, we make sure that we provide the ability of parents to be able to have childcare and to be able to participate in their children's lives in whatever ways we can. So I think, I hope I answered the question, but these are some of the things that have to be done for us to rescue our schools.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And Kalambari?
Yeah, okay, yeah. First, I want to really appreciate you, Corman Warren. We became friends on Facebook, and I kept myself updated, and I really want to salute you for all the incredible work that you've been doing and understanding that our kids matter. And people like you have to have a say-so on recreating this whole idea of what the schools look like. And that's what Chachara was saying. That's what Black community control over the schools is. People like you, Corman, and other people that has been playing a significant role have to have power over what the school curriculum look like and how our schools should be. And it hasn't been, that's not what it's been. People like you haven't had the power to tell them to stop shutting our schools down. But these crooked politicians have been looting and stealing, just as Chachara laid out, and we got to stop that. And we, the people, have a responsibility to do that. And I know that you don't live in my ward or Chachara ward, but you are a concerned citizen that understand that we got to have all the people like Chachara and myself in all the wards that will stand for the people and not be bought, because that's what we have. We have a whole bunch of people that's bought, and they come to the crazy conclusions and allow our schools to be shut down, and that can't happen anymore. So I really appreciate what Chachara said, and I really wanted to salute you and the other men and women that I have watched that is part of the school board, that I feel that had a real understanding of the school system and understood, exactly what was happening. Unfortunately, is without the power to stop the looting from happening. So like I was saying, everybody that's watching, that's in the 3rd ward and the 21st ward, you have a responsibility too, to go to the polls on March the 2nd and vote Chachara Masimba, vote Herdosha Kalumbai Bentham, and and share this live, and talk about these campaigns and really help the people to understand that if we continue to not put the right people in office, we will continue to have closing schools. That's the truth. If we keep on putting the people that's in office right now, like who Chachara is running against, I guarantee you more schools are going to get shut down. And then he going to have another line, because he's not going to even care if they're shutting schools down in the 21st ward. He's going to say, oh, well, at least we only had one school shut down in our ward, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It can't happen anymore. We have to turn our backs to the status quo and vote for the people.
Guru, thank you. Thank you so much for being on. This has been so exciting, absolutely dynamic discussion. And I do want to let you know that Ralph Pointer did ask for both of you to be on his radio show in New York on next Tuesday. I'll send that to you. I'll send it to both of your campaign managers. And I just really, Jesse, I know you have something to say, but I just really want to thank you so much for being on. What a vision. This is the vision of the African working class, the Uhuru movement. This is about power in the hands of the African community and the return of the stolen wealth that we live on, built at the expense of African people for 600 years. That is the pedestal upon which we sit. And that's why all white people owe reparations. We're calling on also the developers and the ruling class have to pay reparations, give this stolen wealth back to the African working class. And this is what the world is going to be under the leadership of the Uhuru movement, African People's Socialist Party. And I thank you so much for being on. Kalumbai, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, just real quickly, because I feel real bad and I'm self-critical. I should have wrote down supporters, and I just wanted to really appreciate Jordan Fly,
Yes.
that is a big supporter of both of our campaigns. And I also wanted to mention Pastor David Baker of New Direction Christian Church that support both of these campaigns, and Bishop Alan Green out of the 21st Ward that supports Chachara's campaign. And so I just wanted to just put those out too, and everybody that I didn't mention, you know what I'm saying, because the support has been crazy, and I really appreciate you all. And nobody is too little, like just regular working class people, nurses and bus drivers, and just the people supporting this campaign. And I appreciate you all.
Uhuru, and thank you so much for being on. It's been an honor. It's so exciting. You're winning. The election is May 2nd, and then, I'm sorry, March 2nd. March 2nd. Is that 2 weeks from today or 3 weeks? Anyway.
That's in 2 weeks.
It's in 2 weeks. And then when you win that, and President Kalumbai is going directly then to the general election, which is what, 1 month, or is it 5 weeks or 1 month later? So we'll be keeping the push. We are winning. The Uhuru movement is winning. The African working class is winning. We're going to see incredible history being made. Really want to salute everyone who gave reparations tonight. Jesse, go ahead.
Uhuru, yes, this has been amazing. Thank you so much to Charwa and Kalambai. This has been, I'm speechless. This has just been like
So beautiful.
so powerful, and
Yes,
just hundreds of comments on Facebook. People are going crazy responding to this.
Wow.
And we want to thank Donna Nassar for putting in $10 to Charwa Masimba's campaign, which brings us to a total of $1,570 that was raised tonight.
All right.
Thank you, everybody who contributed, and keep donating. Keep it going. Let's keep it going. VoteMasimba.org and VoteColumbai.org. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Uhuru. The status quo must go. Uhuru.
Status quo must go. Black is back.
Black is back.
Black is back.
Revolutionary times.
Revolutionary solutions.
Right.
Uhuru.